Hey guys, Welcome Gaming here, bringing you back another video for our favorite weapon series for our Warzone weapons. And today I'm going to bring you a very different type of AK build that I used here in Warzone. Try to really kit it out for movement speed and ADS speed best I could, because the AK is pretty slow when you're using it in really any mode. So I wanted to kit it out and see how effective it would be, specifically with the suppressor I'm using in Warzone here in solo. So I'm going to show you this gameplay. And stay tuned to the very end of it, because it's an interesting end to the round itself. I think it's a fairly good gameplay. I'll walk you through the solo game itself and just walk you through some of the engagements here as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into the weapon. I'll go ahead and back out, and here's our AK-103. And we'll be, again, building this for solo specifically. So let me go ahead and back out here. We'll strip this. And again, I'm going to use the Warsaw blueprint at base. So you can really use any blueprint you have. There's a lot of different blueprints, specifically now that you can strip away a lot of the attachments and still have an all black looking polymer AK. So you can really use any blueprint that you may have in store. So for this one, again, we're going to use the Warsaw blueprint. And I'll just go ahead and strip this down to base. And here we have our base Warsaw, which again, pretty much any AK right now from the blueprints, if you strip them down, will look very similar to this. So now the muzzle here, we're going to use something very unique. Typically, I use this in multiplayer. This is going to assist with the sound suppression, lightweight suppressor, sound suppression, and the only cons here is the damage at range. So it's also going to affect your bullet velocity here. So your range is going to be decreasing, your bullets are going to travel a little bit slower. So you're going to need to lead your targets a little bit more, which you'll see me not doing that as well as I should in some of the engagements. But again, this one does not affect your ADS speed, whereas something like the monolithic and the tactical suppressor do. However, with the monolithic, you do get the damage at range buff with some additional cons there. With a lightweight suppressor, we're only taking one hit here, and it won't affect our ADS speed. So we'll go ahead and put that on. And again, a very unique looking suppressor. It matches like the monolithic for a lot of the snipers, as well as the Odin or the Ash-12. The monolithic looks similar to that as well. So it's a good looking suppressor here for the AK. We're going to go with a base barrel for this. We're going to go with a tack laser for our laser attachment. This, again, is going to assist with the ADS speed, the aiming stability, and the aim walking steadiness here for this weapon. And the cons here, it's going to be the laser is visible to enemies. This is going to help us with that overall ADS speed and movement speed. A lot of pros here versus just the one con of being a laser, which, again, if you're careful about how you use this weapon or the laser itself when you're ADSing, it shouldn't be too much of an impact on your gameplay. Now the optic, we're going to go with the integral hybrid or the Leopold hammer here. So this, again, is you have the 3.25 base scope here, and then you have the top mounted red dot sight here on the Leopold hammer. The cons here are just the ADS speed. Since you're adding the extra weight, this is a pretty bulky optic, so it is going to slow down your ADS speed. But again, we're mitigating that with a lot of the attachments. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now the stock here, I'm, again, just playing around with this. I went with the skeleton stock. This is going to assist with the aim walking movement speed, as well as the aim down sight speed. The only cons here being the aiming stability. But again, we're making up for that with the tack laser. And again, we're getting a lot of pros here for just the one con. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. I'm going to use the duly devoted blueprint skin for this one for our Frankensmithing to give us a nice newer looking skeleton stock here on our AK-103. So go ahead and select that. Now we're going to skip out on the perk, rear grip, as well as the ammunition. Although with the ammunition, if you're going to use this in duos or quads, again, you can swap out how you want to run this. And I would recommend a 40 round magazine just to give you that extra ammunition. Those extra 10 rounds here with the AK do come in handy, specifically anything outside of really duos, I would say. Now for the underbarrel attachment, we're going to go ahead and do the Ranger foregrip on this one. You'll see it replaces that bottom polymer handguard with the, not quite sure, hard to tell what the material is, but it looks like typically with AKs you get a metal bottom part of the handguard there, which again, you can see it has a Picatinny there, and we have the Ranger foregrip attached right there to the Picatinny. So the pros here are going to be the recoil control and the aiming stability. The cons here, aim walking movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So this is a really good one. Also, I'd highly recommend probably the Merc foregrip. May assist with the recoil control a little bit more. It's really hard to tell since they did nerf this underbarrel attachment. You're really going to have to play with it and see what you think for yourself. I think the Ranger foregrip works out really well, but the main thing with this weapon is that first shot recoil. After you fire your first shot, it does kick pretty heavily, and you need to get back on target as quick as you can with that. So just keep that in mind. You're going to get a pretty heavy first shot recoil with this weapon. One thing you could do to try and mitigate is you can try the Commando foregrip. That might help a little bit there with the first shot recoil as well. But really personal preference here. But for the gameplay, we're going to be using the Ranger foregrip. And again, we're going to keep base camouflage on this, but just so you can see what the camos look like here, if I were to put any of these on, since we have the Warsaw blueprint here. It does look really nice and new with all of the camouflages we go ahead and select on this. So you can just see something like a Spetsnaz fall or a canopy there. It looks pretty nice on this AK. And then for the reticle, I am going to switch up the reticle. I'm going to use the Apothis. This, again, just kind of goes closely resembling the reticle you get with the VLK 3.0 sight. Again, nice, just clean reticle there. Or that red reticle is very easy to get on target. And again, another one I recommend is a Chevron Tactical. For this one, we're going to use the Apothis, and I like this one a lot. I think it works out really well here with the AK. Nice, clean sight picture. So that is our final design for our AK-103 here for Warzone. Go ahead and jump in game here. We've played with the AK-103 quite a bit in Warzone. I've done quite a few videos. This is a very unique type build here I'm using. And again, I think it works out really well. So let's go ahead now and we'll jump into the gameplay for this weapon. Okay, so we'll go ahead and jump in here. And right off the bat, I made a friend here in solos for the very first time. I rushed the building where this guy was, and he had a riot shield, and I kind of was signaling to him that I wasn't going to shoot him, and I ended up giving him some weapons, and we went our separate ways. So that was pretty funny, actually, so I just wanted to show that off. First time that's happened to me in a solos game. Now, fast forward here, pay attention. I got my AK loadout here, so coming up with the first couple kills. So this guy's obviously stalking somebody, so I'm going to gauge him. I get a wall penetration hit right there, but I need to be careful because I know he was looking for somebody in this building. So there's obviously someone there. I need to approach cautiously. Now, I'm going to get some lag right here. If you pay attention, you see it freezes. And I thought I was going to get an HKer and get kicked out. And you see it puts me right in that guy's field of view if you saw him there in the window. So he obviously knows where I am now. And right there I'm able to kill him. But it's weird. I've never had my sound cut out like this. If you can hear it in the background, when he's got some shots, I mean, my sound almost completely cut out. So that was pretty strange. But the lag there, pay attention to that. When you're playing Warzone here in the late nights, sometimes like this, it does lag quite a bit, and I think that plays a little bit of a role here in the end game. But again, here I'm just really getting hits is kind of my strategy here in this specific solo game. And you can see here, here's the guy I'm after here. He's running for some reason, leaving that building cover when he's got to see that I'm pretty close to him on his hit contract. But I'm going to take him out. You can see right there, just with that lightweight suppressor, the bullet velocity for the weapons, as well as the damage at range that comes into play. You need to lead the target a little bit more than I was there initially. I wasted too many rounds because I wasn't compensating for the bullet velocity that you need to make up for with that suppressor. So you need to lead them just a little bit more than I was there at those longer ranges. And now here, fast forward again, I've been stalking this guy for probably around 5 minutes, going in and out of these buildings. And I know he's got to be right below me at this point, and I can hear him out there. So right here, the wall's pushing us both, and I'm going to kind of guess where he is, and again, able to get that kill. So he was down below the whole time. He came out that side door and worked over underneath the stairs.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the
Now again, fast forward, I moved up again. I had another hit contract, and that ended up, that target was to where my right is right now, and now I'm also being hunted. So I know there's guys to my right. There's at least 2 over there, since this guy that was hunting me is now getting engaged. So I'm just going to keep eyes on him, and this is a pretty interesting series of engagements here. I know that guy's still in the house. Now there's fire to my right where I knew there was at least 1 or 2 guys via my UAVs that I popped earlier, as well as a hit contract that I had on a guy in those houses now at this point in front of me, that next town over. So this guy just got killed over there, so there's going to be 1 guy. I'm waiting for him. He pushes through the storm. Easy kill right there. Again, just having position and tactical advantage in front of your enemy. He's got to push to me in that situation, so that's an easy kill. Now, at this point, I'm just curious where that guy that was hunting me still was. Is he over there or not? And I spy this guy. Not sure where he came from or what he's doing, but I'm going to mount this wall, and I'm going to engage him at that range. And even with that lightweight suppressor, that's a very long engagement, and I'm able to take him out. No problem there. So fast forward here, get into the end game. I know there's 1 guy in this yellow house. There's also fire to my left, so I'm going to turn and engage this guy, and you can see the recoil there, where you may want to use some under barrel attachment that's different than the Merc, than the Ranger foregrip that I'm using. So the Merc may help you with that first shot recoil a little bit more. You can see how it kicks there at some of those ranges. So you just got to be cautious of that when you're using the AK. Now again, I know there's a guy in that yellow house, and I need to be cautious of him. It looks like he just called in a cluster up on that hill, and he's going to want to be moving now. And so at this point, I'm just going to try and get position. I want to make sure he's not going to rotate towards me. And you can see the door open there. He's going to mount that wall and take some shots at me. And again, I'm going to return fire. He's going to close that door, and it looks like he's going to probably go out another way. So he was planning on rotating my way, and I cut him off. So at this point, he's not going to rotate to me. what I'm going to do again is here rotate to the left, and I'm going to get in a position where I can just get in bounds and see how this plays out. Since there's only 3 other players left at this point. And now fast forward, it's 1v1, and pay attention to this. I'll show it again in slow motion here. So I hear this guy cough over the hill, so I think he's right in front of me, and you can spot him right there. I get a lot of upper body shots, and he ends up killing me somehow. So again, he's using an M13, so might have been a very justifiable kill. Obviously, the M13, less recoil, much faster rate of fire. But take a look at it here in slow motion. I just thought this was interesting. I land about 10 shots on him in the head and the upper torso area, and he lands all his shots on my legs, and I'm the one that gets killed. So I just thought that was interesting. It could very well be the suppressor I'm using, damage at range, but again, that's pretty close range. It shouldn't make that big of a difference at those ranges. So I think that's just either the M13 outperformed me with the AK. You can see he land all leg shots when I land upper body and head shots. So I just thought that was weird. It's either some lag or the M13, just with that high rate of fire, just he ended up landing more consecutive shots. But I would think with the AK and those headshots that I would end up having that win. But that's a heartbreaking second place loss there. But again, overall, I think the way I played that game was perfect. Can't do anything different in that situation, and especially the sound cue of him coughing made me think he was over that hill, which is why I pushed up. So I may have revealed myself a little bit too quick, but an interesting firefight there at the end. Let me know what you guys think. Did he have me dead to rights, or is that an outcome of some server lag? So I'm curious to see what you guys think below. What do you think of this AK-103 build? Have you tried the lightweight suppressor in Warzone? I know I've used it in multiplayer a lot back in the day, specifically when playing realism. And again, I think it really doesn't make that big of a difference here in Warzone. I think Exclusive Ace said you lose damage at range of 15% or more. But to be honest, I don't really notice it. I think I was able to take targets out pretty quick for a lot of these engagements. But let me know down below what you guys think of this. Again, this is an AK-103 kitted out to be probably the best movement speed and the best ADS speed we can have. Let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite AK build for Warzone specifically? Comment that down below, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And until next time, this is Buffner Gaming, out.